Hello, my organizing friends, and welcome to week 3 of the 12-week Get Organized Challenge sponsored by Creative Scrapbooker Magazine. So I'm really happy to be part of the Creative Scrapbooker Magazine family and giving this course right here on the Creative Scrapbooker website. So thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for being part of the Creative Scrapbooker community. This week, challenge number 3, we are going to talk about organizing embellishments. So if you have not done challenge number 1, I'm going to urge you to go back to challenge number 1 and at least study up on the 4-section system that we talk about in that challenge, because it is key to what we're doing today with organizing your embellishments. So we know the 4-section system is all-encompassing. It's going to work for paper and stickers and die cuts and buttons and breads and beads and bows. And I want you to think about that the way that you think about your silverware drawer. Right? Your silverware drawer is a master of organization. Everything you need to set the table is right there. It's easy to gather what you need, easy to use it. It all goes in the dishwasher, and when it's clean, it's easy to put it away. Think about storing your silverware the way that we store, or some of us store, our craft supplies. You might take your spoons and arrange them neatly in cute canning jars up on a shelf, and you might take your knives and put them in cute little boxes and bins spread around your room, and you might take your forks and hang them decoratively on the wall or stash them away in a separate drawer or something like that, right? If you did that with your silverware, it would be a pain in the neck to set the table. It would also be a pain in the neck to put everything away when you were done with it. So one of the beautiful things about the 4-section system, that combine and conquer, is that it puts things together that you are going to use together. And embellishments are no different. We talked about this with paper, no different than paper. When you are ready to sit down and work on a birthday card or a birthday layout, or maybe you're doing party favors or table arrangements for a birthday party, or you just want to make little name cards or goodie bags, all of those things that you're working on, that you're crafting, that have to do with birthday, you can use all of your birthday supplies. You can use your confetti and your stamps and your die cuts and the borders and all the things that you have. So you want to find them all in one place. So putting the most things together you possibly can is key. When we talk about embellishments, we want to do the same thing. Put our stickers and our die cuts and an example of our stamps, if not our whole stamp. So we're going to get later into organizing dies and stamps and punches for those of you that have a lot of them. But if you just have a few random polymer unmounted stamps, those can go right in with everything else in your 4-section system so that you can find them. If you have a lot of stamps and punches, well, punches are too big anyway, but dies and that sort of thing, we're going to talk about those later. So don't worry about that in the moment. So your goal this week is to start organizing your embellishments. Now you've got the handout here that's going to follow along with my lecture, so I hope you took an opportunity to print that. And it does have some good examples or images of the different steps in the process. But the first thing I want you to do is create your sorting templates, and these are going to match your themes and sentiments list, which you made in challenge number 1, right? So you can see that I used 12 by 18 paper. I wrote the theme at the top. So this is themes A, B, and C, which is beach, birthday, and camping. I've got one that's just travel because I know I have a ton of travel stuff. And then I've got, just as examples, I've got the fall sorting template as well, Halloween, Thanksgiving, the 2 things on there. The reason I like the 12 by 18 is because if I have something that's 12 by 12, maybe a big sticker sheet or something like that, if I just use 12 by 12 paper, which is what I did the first time I went through this major sort, I would cover up the whole sorting template with that 12 by 12 paper. So this allows me to have the column with the words on it and then still 12 by 12 inches of space. So then the goal is to take that first container and let's just imagine that what I had here, I'm going to pull some things out of my scrap rack. The goal is to just take that first container. Oh, there was more things in there than I thought. the goal is to take that first container and sort it. So it could be bling, it could be buttons, it could be stickers, die cuts, any of those things, and sort it onto your sorting templates. So I'm going to say, okay, these are holiday things, they're fall. I'm going to just start that pile of fall things. Oh, this is a color, it's purple, it's going to go in purple. This is a beach thing, it's going to go here in beach. These are, again, travel, they're going to go here in travel. And I'm going to sort through those products, laying them out on my sorting template, and then I'm going to scoop them up in piles and organize them into my scrap rack. Now, if you're not using a scrap rack, you might be using 12 by 12 boxes, pizza boxes, or plastic boxes. You might be using file folders, right? I got a couple of different samples here. This is a giant Ziploc bag. There's only one thing in there, but here, this is a bigger than 12 by 12 Ziploc bag where I'm able to put all my blue embellishments, blue and green embellishments in there. So there are a lot of ways to do it. This is a 12 by 12 storage box, and you can see I've got the pocket in here, and I've got paper, and I've also got embellishments. So there are a lot of different tools, different ways that you can actually store things once you get them sorted into that 4-section system. So whether you're using a scrap rack, which is of course my third child, so that's my my method of choice, or something else, it doesn't matter. If you're using something else like this, right, I would just encourage you to start when you load the bag, put the biggest things in the back and work your way forward so your smallest embellishments end up in the very front, and that way you get a good eye for all of the things that are in there. That's not as necessary when you're using a scrap rack because it's easy, you just flip from section to section, you can see everything that way. But if you're using something like this where things are going to stack up, try putting the smallest things in last or first, whatever, so that you have that good visual. So you're going to sort your things, and then you're going to put them into the storage container. You don't have to do everything at once. In fact, I'm encouraging you not to do everything at once. Take one container, one box bin, drawer, tote, basket, whatever you've got, sort that one container, and then put all those things away from that container. Why? Because if you try to do everything at once and you run out of time, or you run out of space, or something interrupts you, then you're going to have this big mess. You're going to have to scoop it all into a box or something. If you, let's say the doorbell rings and all of a sudden you have guests and you need to clean off the table, well, now you're going to scoop all that into a box. You will have wasted your time. You're going to have to redo the work. And the worst part of that is that your brain is going to look at that box and say, well, that method didn't work. Look, everything's in a box. And you're going to try to reinvent some other method for organizing, right? And most of you have done this. Most people that I work with have reorganized their crafting supplies, boy, multiple times, some dozens of times. And the key to this, the key to the 4-section system, is it works no matter what. You never have to change your system. It always makes sense. It's always in line, and it's always easy to find your supplies. So do one thing, one container at a time from start to finish. Another big benefit to that, which you already know if you've listened to the first challenges, you get to check something off your list. Did that. I completed the task. When you complete a task, your brain lights up. You feel successful, you feel motivated and inspired. So it's better to complete one small task than it is to only get through halfway through a really big task, just in terms of motivation and inspiration. The other thing about completing that task is now those things that you've sorted and put away, you can use them and you'll be able to find them. So it's kind of a building block of success and motivation. When you can use those things quickly and easily, you're even more motivated and inspired because you know it works. Your new system is going to work beautifully. Okay, so that's a pretty simple process, right? What are your challenges going to be in that process? So some of the common challenges are things like this. Okay, so this is a ribbon and buttons, and this third one was bling. And this was a gift, actually, and it's adorable, right? That's one of the things. Adorable packaging, we get sucked in, we love it, but this is hard to store and hard to find, and you're going to put it on a shelf or drop it into a drawer. You've got to label the top or lay it on its side so you can see it. So there's all kinds of issues with this kind of storage. So I'm going to just really recommend that you switch to something like this, just a little Ziploc bag. So the advantage here is there were multiple things, blingy things, in this little jar. And now I've got them sorted, rounds, cat eyes, and the little button, I guess they're bead pieces that were also in there. So now I can actually see what I have and how many. So if I want to do something with these cat eye shapes, maybe make a flower, I know how many I've got. I don't have to dump out the jar and dig through them. It's all done in one fell swoop, and now it's all gonna go into browns and neutrals in my scrap rack, and when I'm ready or when I need something in that color combination, I'm gonna find those right there. So they're gonna store flatter and easier, and I'm gonna be able to take them with me, which is one of the beautiful things about getting organized in the 4-section system, is it's easy to take stuff with you by category. So for things like this, try to figure out a way, and Ziploc bags are an awesome little way to do that, to make them smaller, so they're either going to go into your box, into your bag, or right into your scrap rack for easy access later. So that's my first tip. Same kind of thing with this. So these are plastic letters, and they were just in this little clamshell thing, which again is big and thick. And so again, I would just, which is what I did, I just put them into a Ziploc bag, and now I can put that Ziploc bag right into my alphanumeric section of my scrap rack, or whatever, again, whatever container that you're using. If you are not a ribbon junkie and you have things like, this is a Halloween ribbon, this is just a heavy piece of chipboard, and I took that ribbon, it's a Halloween ribbon, I wrapped it around the chipboard. I've got space for multiple other ribbons depending on how wide they are, and I'm gonna just put it right into my Halloween section, fall section of my scrap rack, so I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna remember to use it. But this brings up a good point. Some of us are ribbon junkies, and what I don't want you to do, we talked a little bit about this earlier, is take everything apart and repackage it and spend all your time wrapping ribbon around cards so it'll go into your scrap rack. What I want you to do is think about cross-organizing. When I say that, we talked about this a little bit with paper. How can I get my ribbon organized so that when I'm thinking Christmas or when I'm thinking spring or whatever it is, I will be able to actually grab that ribbon. So here's two ribbon examples. This one, this is the Merle bag. This is the Edna bag. Now remember, Merle and Edna are twin sisters, except for Merle has these ear flaps, right? The ear flaps aren't necessary for ribbon, but same size, same dimension, hold the same kinds of things. Now I'm just gonna label this spring ribbon. I'm gonna label this rainbow ribbon. Now maybe you're such a ribbon junkie that you have all red, all blue, all green, just Christmas, just Easter, just St. Patrick's Day, whatever it is. The idea is to be consistent in your storage. So if I have these on the shelf behind me or wherever your storage shelf is, and I'm working on Valentine's Day, I can go, oh, here's my spring. I always think of Valentine's Day in spring. I know it's technically in winter, but another important part, how does your brain work? I can pull that off and see all of my Valentine's ribbon right there. So whatever I'm working on, I know what I've got for ribbon, and I can pull it out and I can use it, as opposed to having this big ribbon bin, you know, that I'm pawing through trying to find all the ribbons mixed together, right? So this kind of storage, you want to use the same 4-section system. So it's going to be, well, there's no alphabets with ribbon, but there's going to be themes and sentiments, holidays and seasons, and then the rainbow, and you'll just be able to grab that. Oh, I want red ribbons, or oh, I want, you know, holiday or seasonal ribbon. There is some theme ribbon. Usually it's not in these big of things. It's more of a smaller thing than this. But the idea is stay in the 4-section system, even if you have to use different things other than putting everything in your scrap rack, or other than putting everything in your, you know, box or bags or whatever tool you're using to organize those things. So keep it simple and keep it consistent, and you'll be able to find your things. And the other beautiful thing about that is when you buy new Valentine's ribbon, you bring it home in the bag, and instead of stuffing it under your desk because you're not sure where you're going to put it, you are going to be able to just grab that ribbon, put it right away. Maybe you're going to need another buddy bag. I hope so. Okay, so really simple Same thing with washi tape, right? So this is all Christmas washi tape. So organized in the same way. I have one of these with Christmas, one with Halloween, and then the rainbow, or you might use one of the bigger storage case. Let's see what I've got here. I don't have my glasses on, so that's always a challenge. So here, this is just rainbow washi tape, right? But if I want to use washi, I can just go to the rainbow, pull it out, and have the color combinations that match whatever project I'm working on. So keep it consistent, keep it easy, and try to tie those things together. All right. I think that's it. It's really, there's a lot of work to do, but it's a pretty simple challenge. So your goal this week is to sort through, now I'm going to have to put my glasses on to give you the challenge. Now remember, in your handout, there are pictures in the handout, and you can download that so you can view it on your computer or you can print it. And then there's a checklist at the end of the handout, but there's also a separate checklist. So if you want to print that and put it up in your craft space, I would really recommend it. The more you see your goals, when you write down your goals, the more likely you are to accomplish your goals. Okay, so this week, you need to set your embellishment challenge goal, number 1. How much are you going to sort this week and organize this week? How much are you going to purge? That's your second assignment. How much am I going to get rid of? Now remember, there's all kinds of ways to purge and what things to do with your purge, and if that gives you a little bit of a stomach ache or makes you a little bit nauseous, watch the Purge Patrol video or read the blog post. There's some great ideas about how to sort of overcome that anxiety of getting rid of things. But it is really important to the process, and it's really important to being able to continue the process, not only in your craft room, but in other areas of your life that you want to organize as well. So. Okay, decide on storage containers. Are you going to use a scrap rack? Are you using boxes? Are you using big bags? Get those ready to go. Create your sorting guides based on your themes and sentiments list. So when I first did this, I created sorting guides for all the letters of the alphabet. And now I didn't need to do that because I didn't actually have categories or themes in every letter of the alphabet. So that's why the themes and sentiments list is important, because you know which things you need a sorting template for, and it also will guide you towards how many categories you need. So like this is beach, birthday, and camping. It's 3 themes on one sorting guide. If you just have a few things in each of those categories, that's going to work fine. But for this one, I only use travel because I know I have tons of travel stuff. So if I had another T item, I don't know what that would be, it would probably be on a different sorting template. But your themes and sentiments list that you created is going to guide you through that process. So really important. Create those sorting templates. Again, I use 12 by 18 paper from the dollar store to create those. And then if you haven't sorted all your paper, which most of us have not, this is a good time to throw in a little bit more paper in your goals. How much more paper will you sort this week? Once you're done, check, check, check. Complete your challenge checklist. Enjoy your reward, whatever reward you assign to yourself for this challenge number 3. Make sure you take advantage of it. It is what keeps you motivated and inspired, or aids in your motivation and inspiration. And last but not least, Creative Scrapbooker magazine has teamed up with Crafter's Companion and the Totally Tiffany brand line to bring you a wonderful giveaway every week, but you have to sign up every week to be in the drawing. So make sure that's the last thing on your checklist. If you haven't already entered this week's drawing, pop on over to the Creative Scrapbooker magazine website and the Get Organized Challenge page and make sure you enter this week's drawing. Okay, my friends, if you have questions, you can join me also on the Totally Tiffany Tuesday Live and ask those questions there. You can also join the Get Organized Challenge group. There's a link on the blog post here to that. There's 26,000 members in that group who have taken the Get Organized Challenge, and so the nice thing about that is there's almost always somebody online who can answer your questions. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. I'm really excited about this challenge and all the fun that we're having. And again, if you have questions, the Get Organized Challenge group, or join me for Tuesday Live on my Facebook page, and I'm happy to answer questions there as well. Have a great week. Get busy, get organized, and get your reward. Take care, everybody.